All right, guys, so I'm out here today. We're doing something a little bit different today. We're gonna take a look at all the different helis that Blade offers that I have. There is a few missing, I'm sure, that Blade has that I don't have. I think I don't have the Fusion 180. I don't have the MCPX BL2, and I don't have one other one. I think the Fusion 360 and the Fusion 480 I don't have. But so this is what my lineup is right now, just that we're going to look at today. I've got a Nano S3, Blade 120 S2, Blade 150S, Blade Infusion 180, and a Blade 330S. These helicopters are all smart besides the Blade 120 S2 and the Nano. They do have safe on them. All these have safe on them. So just about anyone can pick one of these up and fly, which is going to be cool. I'm not too advanced of a pilot, guys. I just wanted to give you my view on things out of what I have. So that's why we're going to run these today. So just starting off, these are all gear-driven helis. The 330S, the 150S, the 120S2, and the Nano S3. The Infusion 180 is direct drive, and then it has a rear brushless motor. The 150S is geared and it has a rear brushless motor. And then everything else is the same. Besides, the Blade is gear driven, but it actually does have, if I remember correctly, I think it's a belt. I could be incorrect though, it might be shaft drive. I will check into that and let you guys know down below what the 330S is. I think it might be shaft drive if I remember right. Yeah, matter of fact, you know what, it is shaft drive. I can see it there. So here's these helis. So I'm gonna get batteries. We're gonna start flying from smallest to biggest. And as I'm flying, I'm just gonna tell you guys what I think. It's a really nice calm day out here. I'm just at a local school by my house. We've got a lot of field room to fly, which is awesome, as long as we don't get kicked out of here, but I don't think we will. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna get batteries in the one Nano, I'm gonna grab my radio, and then we will start from there. So just give me 1 second, guys, I'll be right back. Guys, just so you know, we're using the NX8 radio today. This has been a great radio for me so far to fly different helis and everything. The only heli we'll be using the stock radio on is the 120S2. That's because I don't care to bind it to this, because it's such a beginner that usually if I go out flying and someone's with me, I just have the 120S2, but we're going to talk about that later. So let's get the Nano S3 up in the air, and let's see what it can do. And then just something to mention here, the Nano S3 is very easy to install a battery in. You just put it right here on the bottom. Go ahead and flip that on, then it's going to start up. And we're going to take off with this right off the back of the truck. So this is just going to be in its safe mode. But as you can see, it's still a snappy little heli. It moves pretty good. And then so let's get that snap back into safe there. I've been using this heli a lot to try to do 3D flight with. Let's get a barrel roll right here over our heads. I use safe a lot, guys, to fly right now, just because it makes things so much easier learning. Like if I come down here and I try to roll it, I might be able to. Let's try to get it upside down here quick. So see, there I crashed it. So I'm still getting a little confused when it's upside down. I need to get more used to it before I actually start really cranking on these bigger helis. But see, this is the nice thing about the Nano. It goes right back up, flies great. So as long as I'm high in the air, guys, I can usually fly upside down pretty well. And I just want to show you something that's real cool about pretty much all these helis. But the Nano is going to be the easiest to do it with. So when you get this thing upside down, you hit safe, it's going to fly itself back over. Or you hit your switch. I don't remember if the Nano S3 has a panic button. But see, the Nano S3 is so small that when you're down here you're like, oh, I want to try 3D flight. You get it upside down, you hit this switch, it's going to come right back over. So you don't have to be super high in the air for that to work on this one, which is nice. It's very nice. But this heli is also a smaller heli, so just keep that in mind when you're flying 3D with this thing. Just keep that in mind, that it's going to crash a lot easier if you go out and buy something that's bigger. I think today I'm getting a little bit more confident when I'm high in the air with my 3D flying. I think we might try to flip the 150 over and see what we can do with it. But that thing, honestly, my 150 is like my heli that really freaks me out, because that thing's so quick. It's ridiculous. But I mean, yeah, guys, you can start. I would start, if you're starting out with helis, just start flying without safe before you start flipping over. I fly without safe once in a while, but usually if I'm just out here flying, I'll fly with safe. I feel like it just makes my life a little bit easier. But see, that goes right back over. And it's weird though too, because the heli never picks like what way it's gonna go back over. It just kind of does it. So that's kind of the nice thing to think about. Stay away from cement if you're just learning how to fly. And now we got some wind that's picking up, so this Nano's kind of getting thrown around. Well, let's go ahead, let's get it upside down again. See there, it kind of had some trouble coming back over, but it did it. So just keep in mind, guys, when you're flying 3D. So just kind of keep that in mind, guys, that you have that safe switch there if you need it. I don't fly without safe usually, as I was saying. So guys, that is going to be the buzzer. Let's get it one more time back over. So there we go. I lost my battery, but let's look at this quick. I just want to show you guys, I'm not lying to you. Goes right back up in the air. So let's get this back over by the truck. And let's just take a look at it. And I want to talk about it a little bit. So guys, that is the initial, not the initial, but that is my flight on the Nano S3. As you can see, it flies pretty dang good for being such a small heli. It's not like back in the day, the helis they had. I want to make sure this battery don't get reused, because I'm going to fly these additionally than just more than just this. So this thing's a lot of fun. I do fly this inside my house. I don't flip it upside down inside my house, so I'm not comfortable with that yet, but I do fly it around the house and it works great. I've crashed this thing a zillion times and it still looks brand new. Like, I could literally throw this on Facebook and just sell it like new. I mean, it looks new besides back here. It's got some dings on this, but otherwise no cracks in the canopy, nothing. So we're gonna throw this one to the side. We're gonna grab the 120S2. I'm gonna get my radio off here because we don't need this for the 120S2. And just so you guys are aware, the Nano S3 and the 120S2 come as ready to flies. The 150S is a bind and fly, the Infusion 180 is a bind and fly, and the 330S comes as a ready to fly also. There's some different price points there. So the Nano S3, if I'm not mistaken, is $169, and the 120S2 is also going to be $169 when you buy it. Is a ready to fly. Yeah, the price is right there on this. So let's grab this radio out. Let's see here. Okay, I got the battery up there. So we'll go ahead, we'll throw a battery in this heli quick. You do have your flight modes and you do have your recovery mode. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna fly this. I've never actually flown this one. This will be my maiden flight with this one, kind of out here. So I'm not really nervous about it though. This heli is pretty docile and easy to fly. This would be good for your first beginner who's starting to fly. The Nano S3 is also, but the reason the Nano S3 is so good for your first beginner flyer is because of how small it is and how much of an impact it can take. The Nano S3, when you start really flying it, I mean, it gets to be a handful. So let's throw this thing up. So here we go. See, so there's full forward on this thing. And this thing, pretty impressed with it. So this will also have your modes, so you have your yaw and stuff. or your unlimited bank and whatnot. But this helicopter is not a stunt heli. So this is not going to be a helicopter you're going to go and you're going to start flying upside down like the Nano S3 is. If you want something for 3D, I suggest getting the Nano S3. If you want my honest opinion, this heli really bores me. It's just kind of slow. It's kind of sluggish, but it is a good heli to start out with if you're just getting into the hobby. But I mean, as you can see, when you start going, let's come down. But this helicopter does fly really well, actually, for what it is. So see there, I kind of lost orientation on it. And that's the thing that sucks with these smaller helicopters. That's why you'll notice, like when I fly the Nano and stuff, I'm not flying real far away, because you can lose orientation easy on them depending who you are. Even if you've got 20/20 vision, they're kind of hard to see once they start getting far away. It's not like flying an RC plane. But yeah, so that's just something to keep in mind, guys. The wind is picking up out here, so that's why you're seeing the heli kind of get blown around a little. But I mean, it's nothing too bad to deal with type of stuff. And you just got to be careful, guys. You don't want to lose orientation on one of these and end up losing it. I guess I was flying in two there. But so this is going to be more of your beginner flight here also. But this helicopter isn't a bad little heli to fly. I'm just used to the bigger ones now and stuff, so the yaw rate on this is really low. It's not very fast, but it's perfect for like your beginner flyer. But as you can see, guys, we're keeping up with this radio just fine. We're getting it pretty far away, and it's not leaving us. It's having good signal. So these little blade radios or spectrum radios or whatever they're calling them now for the helicopters, they work pretty good actually. For the ready to flies, the smaller ready to flies. When you buy like the Blade 330S, it's gonna come with DXS, which I don't really care for personally. Just my opinion though, but it is also a good radio that holds a signal. It's just hard to program and stuff. So what I always suggest to everyone is, if you're serious about flying, start out and get yourself a good radio. If you're gonna just start out and you want to buy something like this or the Nano S3, then get one of these radios with it to start out with, because you're only gonna spend a little bit more money. You're also gonna get a battery with the ready to flies. The bind and flies you're not gonna get a battery with. So you just got to keep that in mind. And I'm going to be completely honest, I'm kind of being dumb right now because I'm not sure how long we've had this in the air, and I actually don't know how long these batteries are supposed to last in this. So I think we've had it up for probably a couple minutes now. I'm going to go ahead and put this down just to make sure we don't crash it, because I would like to keep it in one piece for other people to fly when I take people out to fly. So we're going to come over here. And just be careful, guys, when you're landing. Try to put your helicopters down softly, if that makes sense to you. So when you're coming down, you know, like that. That should be good. So now another thing I don't like about these radios that you buy, that come with the helicopters, is they don't have a hold mode. So what that means is, when I pick this helicopter up, if my radio's sitting here and someone actually hits it, those blades can start up. And what a hold mode does is it holds that. So I'll show you what I mean here in a second. We're going to put the 150S up next. We're going to put the 150S up next. So let me get that down. Let me get a battery in it. And then we'll put that one up in the air and we'll give it a good flight here. So here we go, guys. Here is the Blade 150S Smart. So back in the day, Horizon did have one that was non-smart, which is actually also was a really good little heli. But as you can see, guys, I haven't been flying for a very long time, so I never had one of those, but this is the one I have, and this is the one they're selling now. So if you buy one secondhand, just be careful about what you're buying. I don't know if the old 150S had like the safe and stuff on it. I'm sure it probably did, but I don't know for sure. At least that blade holder. And then we're gonna put this thing in the air. So with this one, we are using the NX8 again. So there you go, guys. There is your hold mode. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna plug the heli in. I'm just gonna show you quick what hold mode does. So let the heli get synced up. This should be pretty flat, so it should be fine. Just make sure everything works on your helis. So what hold mode does is it makes it so it can't spin up. So now if I pull this hold off, it'll spin up. So just make sure you have hold mode on while you're doing this, just to make sure you don't accidentally cut your hands off or something, or if you got people with you. So in case they grab your radio and don't know what they're doing and they accidentally hit the button, or if you got kids with you or anything like that, guys, just be careful. You don't want to end up cutting your hand off or something with one of these. And people probably laugh at that and say, you can't cut your hand off with that. Yeah, you can. They will. They spin up pretty good. So alright, guys, so let's get the 150S in the air. This heli is just craziness. So here we go. So as you can see, already going crazy. This thing really does, this 150 really makes me nervous. I'm actually not sure how much I like it because of how quick it is. And I have like I don't know why, but my things are set really weird for it. So it's in safe. This is probably one of the helis I would not suggest you start with, just because of how crazy it is. When you start moving, this thing really goes. So you kind of got to be careful with it. So let's do a full punch up to the sky. So there you go, that's safe mode 1.
Stunt 1.
So now, or that's normal mode, sorry. Now we're in stunt 1. So see that? See how crazy this thing is?
Stunt 2. Normal.
See that? So I kind of want to show you guys that, but I actually did not mean to do that on purpose. But this helicopter is freaking nuts. So I broke some shit, of course. Let's see what I broke. Did I break anything? I don't think I did. Yes, I did. So I broke this top piece right here. I broke the nipple off it. That kind of sucks. But I wonder if I unplug this one. I'll see if we can just get this thing right back up in the air. So let me see if I got some tools on me, and I'll see if I can get it back up in the air quick. Guys, let's just see. Look at that shit. So all I did was flip the top piece with the balls on it, but it does sound kind of noisy. But oh well. So we're not gonna do that again. As you can see, guys, the Nano S3 is a lot easier to fly if you want to do 3D stuff starting out. This one is a little bit harder, so just kind of be aware of that. It also, when it turns, it's also harder to control when you get it back. So just keep that in mind. This honestly is probably one of my least favorite helis right now that I have. I'm not a big fan of the Infusion 180 also, but when we get to that, we'll look at it. We will try flipping that one upside down too. Just because I want to see something break. No, just because I want to see if it's easier to flip. And maybe I don't have something set up on this, but this is Blade's. But this is Blade's setup. So when you guys get like this, if you can't see what the heli is doing, I suggest you just dropping it to the ground. What I mean by that is, so when you get the heli like far away, like I just was, I kind of lost orientation, but I ended up being able to get it back. So if you get it far away from you, just get it close as you can to the ground and just drop it. That's what I would do.
Stunt 1. Stunt 2. Stunt 1.
So that's what I would suggest you guys do. That's just my personal opinion though. So I'm really happy to see I actually didn't break this thing. Because these little helis, guys, these things are really expensive. Kind of, in a way, I guess. Not really, but... So this little heli is $229. So just keep that in mind. So... I'm not sure what's going on with my radio. My radio is throwing up a code. So let's go ahead and land this. It's got about 2 minutes of battery left, but honestly, I just don't really enjoy flying this right now. Just because I think it's a little bit more advanced for me than a lot of helis are. So I'm gonna show you what I mean by that. So let's go ahead and get this back in the truck. Put hold mode on. So let's get this back over here. Let's get this battery out. And then we're gonna put the Infusion up for you guys. I do only have one battery with for the Infusion because they were still dead and I wanted to leave and get over here. This one I got a couple more batteries, but we're probably not gonna fly this one again just because it makes me feel kind of uncomfortable to fly. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not too great with it, as you can see. And people are like, well, you shouldn't really fly the Infusion then. Well, I'll show you the Infusion just because, and I'm gonna show you the 330. But I feel like the Infusion is a little bit easier heli than that one, and I think it's because of the size, and in some predicaments it's a little bit more docile, but that's just my opinion. So guys, this is actually the first initial heli I bought, is this little Infusion 180. And if you want my opinion, I think the Infusion 180 is a little bit better than the 150, just personally. I'm gonna show you why. And I actually haven't flown this one in a little while, so I might be mistaken. I might be wrong here in a second. I might tell you I'm wrong, but get that on there just so I don't lose it. Let me get the Infusion 180 in the air. So I really like the way the battery straps on the Infusion. It's a lot like the OMP heli, if anyone is familiar with that. It goes up under here. And that might be why I didn't have Velcro on it, but I had Velcro to it yesterday. So there we go. Got that battery in there. So now we got that battery in there, let's get it, bind it up. So there we go, got that working. Now, something I want to just warn you guys about is forward programming. Oops. So forward programming. So guys, I just put it back up, made sure it still wants to fly, but I just want to show you what happened there. So either it was my inexperience or the heli actually took off on me. I'm gonna vote more towards it was my inexperience. But I think the wind started to blow it, and when the wind blew it, it just kind of took off on me. So this canopy was brand new today. Not anymore, sadly. So that's garbage again. Unless I can try regluing it, but I reglued my last one, it didn't turn out right. So bent the micro heli mini boom. I bent it back. It still flies okay. I just flew it. But so this heli I think is gonna get put away with the 150S for a while, because if you want my honest opinion, they're hard to fly for a beginner, and that's why I'm making this video. I wanted to show you guys just some things, what to start with, what not to start with from my point of view. And hopefully I help some people out with this video is my plan. But anyways, let's get this back on here. Let's get this side back on here. So, there we go. Another canopy is wrecked. Let's throw this back in the box. And I do actually have an extra boom for this, so I'm not too worried about it. I'll end up fixing it. We'll fly it someday. We'll get it in the air successfully and we'll have a good flight with it. But until then, it's going to go back in the box. And I actually also kind of did abuse the battery there too. Hopefully the battery's still good. I'll have to find out when I get home and plug it in and see. I don't have a charger on me. So next up, guys, is going to be the big boy. This is my favorite heli to fly. I've only flown it once. And if you want my honest opinion, the bigger the heli is, the easier it is to see when you're flying it. But that's my opinion. I'm not saying go out and buy one of these right away. This is what you need type of deal. But this is my fun heli. I really enjoy flying this one. So here's battery 1. We'll throw battery 1 on here. So then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into the radio, system setup. Yes, go to and so I have not flown this heli yet on this radio, so I bound it up. So let's just go ahead, and before we fly off with it, we're gonna make sure everything is working. We're gonna make sure safe is working. So I got it in hold right now. So theoretically, just stand back from them, guys, when you first start them up too. Slap those blades together, get this baby on it. So with this one, guys, we're gonna take it a little bit easier. We're not gonna fly this one upside down or anything crazy. It's not a Nano. So there we go, we got the canopy on it. Throw these blades out, throw these blades out. So as you guys can see, safe is working. So this thing, we're not gonna go too crazy with it because I don't want to wreck it. This is by far my favorite heli, but as you can see, safe's working there. It's going back to center. So this is like, guys, your full-blown real kill yourself heli. That will mess you up if you're not careful with it. So on this heli, I get about 4-minute flights with these 2200 batteries. But look at that. See, and this thing just has such awesome control. I would actually like to get a picture of this thing in the air, but for right now, this is good. Let's just bring it back over here and let's just check out the punch on this thing. So if we go all the way down to the ground, this is the punch up. That is ridiculous. This thing is so sweet. It really makes me nervous flying this thing, just how quick it is. And you don't want to be nervous when you're flying these guys, because nerves is what's going to wreck things. But look at that. You guys got to remember, these helis, they don't have like a return to home function on them. So like if your heli flies away and you can't see it, you're gonna crash it. So that's why I'm kind of flying kind of close, just because I'm so new still. I don't want to get it out of control and have it fly away on me, because these things aren't cheap. And this thing just sounds so awesome. It sounds like a real heli when it's flying up in the air. So there we go, guys. I just did a little swirl for you. I don't want to put this thing upside down. Look at that. So that's pretty cool. You can fly it upside down. It feels a lot more easier to control than a lot of the other helis. I think that is just because of how big it is. It's a lot smoother. But see, I get problems when I get it up in the air like that. And I don't really want to crash this heli. And you got to be careful with these, because you will cut your freaking head off. You just seen there, I kind of got nervous. So there we go, let's get it balanced out. As you guys notice, I'm still using safe a lot to flip the heli over, and that's because I get nervous. So like that there, I didn't know how to control that type of deal. So then I just hit the safe and it fixes it for me. So let's bring it back over to the truck. My timer actually went off like a minute ago. There we go, guys. That was an awesome flight. So there was all the different helis for you guys. Let's get this thing over to the truck. Make sure I put safe on, or hold, sorry, not safe. And we're going to talk about it. And then I'm going to post another video of just this heli by itself, and we're going to do some more flying with it just because I enjoy it so much. So let's get it back on the truck. Let's get the battery out of it and let's take a look at it. So guys, out of all these helis today, if I was to tell you to go buy one, I'm really leaning towards the Nano S3 or the Blade 120 S2 just to start with. They're a lot easier to start to learn to fly. You start getting into the Infusion and the 150 and they get a little harder to fly. It makes me nervous to fly those. The bigger one doesn't for some reason. The bigger one, it's pretty easy for me to fly, and I think it's because I can really see it in the sky. But it's something for you guys to keep in mind. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to end this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Go pick up a Nano S3 or the 120 S2 and ready to fly. They're about the same price. and you get a battery, you get a radio with them, and you'll be good to go. I'm going to take the Nano or the 330S out for a couple more flights here, and I'm going to video just it by itself. So I'm going to let it cool down a little bit. And then we'll get back to it. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you want to see the flight on the 330S, it should be uploaded shortly.